The smiling class. Naoya Ishikawa had never heard of Mikamachi until the week his mother decided they were moving. His father's job had taken them abroad for years. But now, she said, they needed a quiet place. A town with no noise, no chaos. Naoya stood at the rust-covered gates of Mikamachi High, suitcase in hand, and stared up at the school. It wasn't large, but the building loomed, shadowed by moss-covered eaves and windows like eyes watching from a long-abandoned asylum. A teacher greeted him with a faint smile. "You're the transfer? Welcome to Class 2C. This way, please." As they walked, the hallways seemed wrong. Too clean, too symmetrical, and too quiet. The walls were lined with posters, all about unity and happiness. Every single one with a crude, cartoonish smile drawn on the figures. When the teacher opened the classroom door, Naoya froze. Every head turned toward him. Every student was smiling. Not politely, not warmly. Their smiles were wide, frozen, and identical, like mannequins in a nightmare. "Everyone," the teacher chirped. "This is Ishikawa Naoya. Be sure to show him our class spirit." The class responded in unison. "Welcome, Naoya." The voices were flat, robotic, and none of their smiles faded. Naoya was assigned the seat beside the window, always near the back, just like in every anime he'd seen. But there was something off about the desk. The wood was freshly scratched, as if someone had clawed at it. Words were barely etched into the surface. "Help me, don't smile." Naoya glanced around. No one had seen him reading it. The day passed like a fog. Every teacher smiled. Every student smiled. There were no outbursts, no murmurs. Everyone was still, controlled, perfect. At lunch, Naoya tried talking to a boy beside him. "Hey, what do people do for fun around here?" The boy turned slowly. "We smile. We smile for Mikamachi." Naoya blinked. "You mean, is that like a motto?" The boy didn't blink. "Smiling keeps us together. Smiling keeps us safe." Naoya felt a chill in his bones. Safe from what? The boy tilted his head slightly. From her. The next morning, something happened that made Naoya feel like he was in a bad dream. At exactly 7:45 a.m., a crackling intercom sound filled the school. Then a strange melody began to play, slow, warped, like a music box in water. Students stood, every single one, and smiled. It wasn't a normal song. It had no words, but the melody pulsed in the back of Naoya's skull like an infection. He hesitated. The girl across from him, a soft-spoken girl with pigtails, turned her head a full 90 degrees toward him without blinking. "You have to smile now." He did, a small one. "No," she said flatly, "a real smile, or she'll notice." During lunch, Naoya noticed a girl in the very back. She didn't smile, didn't speak. She sat staring out the window, her eyes glassy, as if she was somewhere else entirely. Her name was Shirori Kurobane. When Naoya sat near her, she didn't move. But when he leaned closer, she whispered without looking, "You shouldn't have come here." "What? They already like you. You smiled." "I didn't mean to." "You will smile. Everyone does. Eventually." Naoya began to dream of smiles. Smiles carved into trees, into mirrors, into his own skin. He woke up with a sharp pain in his jaw. His cheeks were sore, as if someone had forced his mouth open while he slept. At school, his homeroom teacher introduced a smiling contest. Each student had to draw a version of their happiest smile. One boy, a shy, short kid named Hiro, turned in a blank sheet. The teacher smiled wider. "Hiro doesn't want to smile for us." That night, Hiro vanished. Naoya found a list posted on the classroom wall, written in faded chalk. 1. Smile in the morning. 2. Smile at lunch. 3. never frown. 4. Do not look behind the curtain. 5. Do not ask about Aang Kasaka. He asked Shirori, "Who's Aang?" She flinched. "You really want to die, don't you?" Naoya decided to test it. The next morning, during the smile song, he remained seated, stone-faced, no smile. First, nothing happened. Then, every head in the classroom turned toward him at once. Even the teachers, like they were marionettes on a single string. No one spoke. They just stared. Their smiles twitched, grew wider, unnatural. After 30 seconds, the sound of static rose from the intercom. Then a whisper, "Frowners get fixed." He stood slowly, forced to smile. Only then did they all turn away in perfect unison. In the back hallway near the music room, Naoya noticed a door without a knob, sealed shut with old paper charms. He peeked through the crack. Darkness. But as he leaned closer, he swore something inside blinked. 2 yellow, slitted eyes. Gone in an instant. Behind him, a girl giggled softly. He turned. No one there. When he looked back, a sticky note had been pressed on the window. "We see you." Naoya searched the school records for Aang Kasaka. No such student existed, but there were class photos dating back decades. In the photo for Class 2C 20 years ago, one girl's face was completely scratched out, so viciously that even the paper was torn through. Shirori appeared behind him. "She's the reason this class exists," she said. "What happened to her? She smiled too much, or not enough. I don't think anyone remembers anymore, except her." Inside his desk drawer, Naoya found a tattered notebook, one that hadn't been there yesterday. It wasn't his. The cover was labeled, "Smile Diary, Property of AK." The entries were frantic. They said smiling makes you part of the family. They locked me in the curtain room. It's breathing. My jaw won't stop cracking. My lips are bleeding. I'm still smiling, but I think I'm dead. Naoya flipped to the last page. "If you read this, don't smile back." Sunset. The school had a rule. No students after dark. But Naoya stayed late, hidden in the library. At exactly 6 p.m., all lights in the building shut off. He moved quietly through the hallway. That's when he saw them, his classmates. Still in their seats, not moving, not blinking. Their mouths frozen in smiles even as flies buzzed around them. The intercom crackled. "She's coming down the hall. Don't frown." Naoya ducked under a desk. Something walked by. It wasn't human, but it was smiling. Naoya found the janitor's closet sealed with a padlock. The smell of bleach and rot oozed from the crack beneath. He picked the lock. Inside was a pile of school uniforms, hundreds of them, all stained, some ripped, and in the center, a single smiling mask made from skin. It had a name tag, Aang Kasaka. That night, Naoya heard a scratching sound from his closet. He opened it. Nothing. Then, behind him, in the mirror, he saw her. A girl with long, stringy black hair, face torn open in a permanent smile. No eyes, just black holes. She lifted a finger to her lips. H. The giggling started again. At first outside the window, then under the bed, then inside the walls. Naoya recorded it on his phone. Playback revealed a second voice, whispering underneath the laughter. "Smile, or she'll wear you." The next day, one of his classmates, a quiet boy named June, collapsed screaming, clutching his face. He was taken away. When he returned the next morning, he was smiling. Too much. The principal, a man Naoya had never seen before, held an emergency assembly. He stepped onto the stage, face half covered in shadows. His mouth never moved when he spoke, yet his voice echoed through the hall. "We thank Aang for her guidance. We thank Aang for her smile. Keep smiling. and she'll keep you. Then, everyone bowed in unison, except Naoya. Shirori grabbed his hand. Pretend, or you're next. Naoya snuck into the records room again. This time, he found a police report buried in the back. Missing student, Ain Kasaka. Cause, unresolved. Presumed, deceased. Note, jaw broken postmortem. Mouth mutilated. Body never recovered. The file was stamped. Class sealed. Do not open. It had a date. Exactly 10 years ago. To the day. The classroom had a curtain in the back. Heavy. Always drawn. It reached from ceiling to floor. No one ever acknowledged it. Shirori stopped him one morning. Don't open the curtain. That's where she sleeps. But if we destroy it, she'll wake up, and she'll wear someone else's face. Naoya tried to leave the school at lunch, but the path kept leading back to the gate. Every hallway circled, every road looped. He found himself back in Class 2C, even though he swore he left campus. Shirori waited at the door. "You're smiling more," she said sadly. He touched his face. She was right. In the main hall, a large portrait hung on the wall. The founding principal. He was smiling, but the longer Naoya looked, the more wrong the face seemed. His smile grew the longer he stared. He turned away. When he looked again, the eyes were following him. The mouth now open, wider. Naoya woke with a bite mark on his shoulder. Human teeth. He looked in the mirror. Behind him stood Ain, or something wearing her. She leaned close. "Soon, you'll smile for me too." The teacher announced photo day. The class lined up in the courtyard. Naoya stood between Shirori and another girl, both whispering, "Keep your face neutral." But the photographer was different. He wore no name tag. His eyes were stitched shut. As he clicked the shutter, the flash was too bright. Everyone's faces warped momentarily. Their smiles twisted into gaping, jagged maws. When the photos were printed, Naoya wasn't in them. In his place, Ain. Late at night, Naoya returned to the classroom. He approached the curtain. It pulsed, as if something behind it was breathing. From beneath the fabric, black fluid oozed onto the floor. A face pushed against it from the inside, wide eyes stretching the cloth. Smiling, he reached out to pull it open. Shirori tackled him to the ground. You open it and she gets out. She becomes someone new. Naoya gasped. What is she? A broken smile that never ended. Shirori told him the truth. 10 years ago, Ain Kasaka had been the class loner. She always smiled. Not because she was happy, but because she didn't know how to stop. One day, her classmates turned on her. They said her smile was fake, that she made everyone uncomfortable. They locked her in the supply room behind the curtain. She starved. When they found her, she was still smiling, but her jaw had shattered from pressure, her mouth torn open to the ears. Now, she makes others smile so she's never alone again. That week, the school announced a smile game. One by one, students had to stand in front of the curtain and say what made them happiest. If their smile wasn't real enough, the curtain pulsed. One girl's smile faltered. Her mouth twitched, nervous. The curtain opened slightly. She screamed and collapsed. No one helped her. The next day, she returned with no tongue, still smiling. Naoya broke into Shiori's house. There were photos on the wall, but none showed a family, only her, alone. A voice echoed behind him. She doesn't live here, a neighbor said. That house has been empty for years. He turned back. Shirori was gone. In her place on the couch, a body-shaped dent and a faint trace of blood. Was she ever real, or had Ain used her? 2. Naoya finally cornered their homeroom teacher. I know what's happening, he said. The teacher just smiled. I can't stop smiling anymore. she said, tears streaming down her face. She's inside us, all of us. If I stop, she hurts me. Then her smile cracked, literally. Her lips split open, but she kept smiling. The student at the back, the one who never spoke, was now wearing Shiori's uniform. But it wasn't her. When Naoya said her name, the girl smiled. Too wide, too familiar, too much like Aang. Naoya tried to call his mother. No signal. He ran to the train station. No trams. He returned home. His apartment was empty. Dust covered everything, as if he'd never lived there. Mikamachi was no longer just a town. It was a prison. At night, Naoya heard tapping on his bedroom window. Then laughter. He opened the curtain, nothing there. He closed it, but reflected in the glass was his own face, smiling back at him, even though he wasn't smiling. He noticed something strange. None of his classmates ever talked about their families. No one ever left school. No one ever mentioned weekends. He asked one student, "Do you have a mom?" The student froze, then smiled. Everyone in Mikamachi is family. The teacher announced it was anniversary week. The week Aang died. Every year, a new smile is chosen. Naoya realized the victim is always the new student. He was the offering. That morning, the smile song began as usual, but it didn't stop. Played on repeat. Students began twitching, grinning until blood ran from their cheeks, teeth falling out, eyes rolling back. Naoya screamed over the static. "Stop this!" But the song only got louder, and the curtain began to move. Naoya smashed every mirror in the school. Each one reflected a different version of himself. Smiling, screaming, dead-eyed, grinning with rows of jagged teeth. In one mirror, Aang stood behind him, whispering, "It's not a curse, it's a choice. Smile with me." He ran, through the halls, out the doors, onto the streets, but the roads were gone. In every direction, the school, as if the town no longer existed, just a single building and the smiling void around it. He watched in horror as students who could no longer smile had their faces peeled off, their expressions sewn into dolls that hung in the teacher's lounge. Aang fed on them. Smiles were her food. Naoya returned to the janitor's closet. Now it was open. Inside, hundreds of photos. Every student who had ever gone missing, all with the same smile Aang's. Some photos were dated the future. One had today's date, and his name. That night, shadows slithered through the classroom. They whispered, "Smile and live forever. Frown and be forgotten." He didn't sleep. He just stared at his reflection, trying not to move. His mouth was twitching. He tried to leave the school through a fire escape. At the top, he saw a massive portrait. Inside it, students waving. He leaned in. One of them was him, smiling, trapped. Aang appeared again, no longer angry, now gentle. "Just smile," she whispered. "We'll be together." Naoya felt it pulling at him. A warmth, a numbness. His lips began to curl. He fought it, biting his cheek, breaking his own jaw to resist. He'd rather be broken than smile for her. Aang screamed. The smile song shrieked. The curtain exploded open. Inside the curtain, a throne of stitched faces. At the center, Shiori, alive, but barely, her lips sewn into a smile, her eyes gone, her body limp. Naoya tried to reach her. Aang stopped him. "She chose to frown," she whispered. "So I fixed her." Naoya pulled out a knife, cut the thread from Shiori's mouth. Aang shrieked, the sound of glass shattering in his skull. Shiori gasped, her first real breath in years. Aang began to wither. The curtain caught fire. The classroom cracked. The smiles faded. One by one, students began to blink, to breathe, to cry. Aang screamed. Her body melted into the floor. Before disappearing, Ayn left one last mark. Hundreds of eyes opened along the walls of Class 2C, watching, waiting for the next frown. The school returned to normal, but Naoya knew better. Every time someone didn't smile, the walls twitched, the intercom clicked, the music played softly, smiles returned. Unnaturally, Naoya saw his own photo in the staff room, labeled Vice President of Smile Culture. He never applied, but now he was part of it. The class smiled. He smiled too. One morning, Shirori was gone again. Her desk, empty. Only a note remained. I didn't want to smile anymore. Behind the curtain, he heard her scream. And then, silence. A new student arrived. The class all turned. Smiling, Naoya stood with them now. His lips curled up. Welcome to Class 2C. The school continues. Year after year. Student after student. All smiling. Always smiling. Forever. Somewhere in Mikamachi, a bell rings softly. Curtain flutters. A girl with torn cheeks waits behind it. Still smiling. Still watching. And still hungry for more.